Hi, this is Joe again with another review. So I was saying in this video I'm going to be discussing the 1986 film Aliens, starring Sigourney Weaver. Of course, this is it's the sequel, or pseudo sequel, to the original film Alien, which came out 7 years earlier. So it took like 7 years to make a sequel for this film. And once again, so Sigourney Weaver in the role of Ripley. And of course, this movie is pretty much a rehash of the original film. I didn't know how much of a rehash it was until I finally saw it, like 35 years after it came out. I finally saw Aliens. Of course, this movie, in a way, does pick up where the original film left off. And before I go any further, I should also mention this movie was co-produced, co-written, and directed by James Cameron, who just 2 years earlier did the same thing for the original Terminator film. Now he's doing a sequel for Aliens, or sequel for Alien called Aliens. Of course, like you just said, it just picked up from where the last film left off, which with Ripley being still in a little pod or shuttle, being in chronological frozen. A cryo sleep, as they call it in this series, and 57 years after she was at the events of the first movie, she was in cryo sleep for like 57 years. What I know about science fiction is that's why it's called science fiction, folks. If you're in chronological frozen for 57 years, you're not gonna live. I mean, it's basically that simple. But she was able to live, she lived, believe it or not, she was alive. And they got her out of it, and then they found out that they were going to send a survey on the planet where the alien from the first movie was. And they actually found this I don't know, call it base or ship or something, with not just one alien, but dozens of aliens in this one ship, or as one colony. There's more than one alien on this thing, and of course they had a whole bunch of eggs that were all hatching, and of course the aliens were all running around all over the place, killing people. Except, like I said earlier, it says a rehash of the first movie, just bigger. I mean, this is a much longer movie. It's about 2 hours and 11 minutes of runtime, so it's a much longer movie. It plays more like an action film. It was stereotypical at the time this film came out. It's like in the 80s, you had a whole bunch of action movies, and Aliens was right in the middle of all that. Because you had Predator. A year later, you had Predator. Of course, you had the Lethal Weapon movies. You had the Indiana Jones films, in the 80s. So this is just another one of dozens of action movies you could sink your teeth into, except that this one is in outer space, and you have this dozens of alien creatures running around, and the aliens were designed by Stan Winston, who was a great special effects creature maker. That's the best way to describe it. So and this was really top-notch work, and by Stan Winston and his crew. So you see these creatures running around, killing people, and just the second half of this movie is like straight action, and if you forgot the plot in the first 10 minutes, if you come to this movie like 10 minutes late, you're gonna miss how the plot is, because it's minus action, and the time when Sigourney Weaver is protecting like this little girl, because she survived the constant attacks from the aliens. So now they're protecting this little girl, and actually once again, Sigourney Weaver is the lone survivor of this thing, except for just her. She has this little girl to protect, and instead of just one person, Sigourney Weaver just living, so it's two people living at the end of this film, and it's like I said earlier, it's like for the second half of this film, it has wall-to-wall action. And I should also mention that the D-bag in this movie was Paul Reiser, no, comedian polarizer, known years later for being in the sitcom, the '90s sitcom "Mad About You," and it was also in the only other movie that he was ever in before was playing the stooge to Eddie Murphy in the first two Beverly Hills Cop movies. So you have him in there, and he was one of the horribles, or he's captured one of these aliens, so you use him as a weapon to, Earth's enemies or something, and it was really, and then of course he gets it. Of course he gets it. They all get killed except for Sigourney Weaver's character. So unlike the Die Hard movies, when they references to previous adventures, they did reference what happened to Ripley before in the first film, and they did show what happened to the other crew that she was with before. They all died. They all got killed off, and so they want to do it again. And it's surprised that Sigourney Weaver's and Ripley said, "Oh God, I can't believe this is happening again." I'm surprised they really didn't do that, but they did that with the second Die Hard film. But I'm surprised they didn't do that in the second Aliens movie. I guess maybe because Jim Cameron is a better writer of action movies than than the writers for the Die Hard films, I guess, because they made zero references to what. Well, I didn't say zero references, but they didn't constantly say, "Oh, God, this is happening again." I can't believe we're dealing with these aliens again. But instead of dealing with somebody else or something. But this movie is, it's good. And that thing is not a lousy movie. It's a decent follow-up to the original film. But the original film was a little bit better because the suspense was there. The suspense was not so much here in this movie because they hit you and get in your face with the aliens and stuff. But they said this one is scarier. It was not as scary as the first one. The first one was scarier than the second film. But like you just said, it's just a decent follow-up and stuff. And that's all I can say about this movie, Aliens. So that's my review of the movie Aliens. Please click on the video. Please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews not only my YouTube channel at rowdyc.com, so WDY, and then at C.com. That's a homepage to Rowdy Reviewer. Chris Moore. Please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.